Welcome to Monaco. This is home of the Monaco Formula One Grand Prix, the world-famous Monte Carlo casino, and more luxury sports cars than parking spots. But soon, it will also be home to the exclusive Mareterra.
This is the third extension that we are doing on the sea.
A $2 billion sea expansion project. This high-end neighborhood is designed for the top 1% of the 1% rich people, with features like private yacht marinas, luxury restaurants, and even a massive saltwater pool stretching into the Mediterranean. So, with so many ambitious things in this project, how are they building it, and who exactly will call it home? Let's see. Before we dive in, let's take a moment to understand the people of Monaco. This tiny nation may be the second smallest country in the world, but when it comes to wealth, it's a giant. Nearly a third of its residents are millionaires. Just imagine that. But why do so many wealthy people choose to live in such a small place? Well, one big reason is taxes, or rather, the lack of them. Back in 1869, Monaco abolished income tax, and even today, residents don't have to worry about paying it. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want to keep more of their money? But there's more to it than just tax benefits. Monaco's location is another major attraction. Sitting between Nice and the southern coast of Italy, this glamorous spot on the French Riviera offers an unbeatable mix of luxury and convenience. So, while the rich save on taxes, they also get to enjoy a lavish lifestyle in one of the most stunning places on Earth. Monaco also has the highest GDP per capita in the world. That's right, making it a true billionaire's playground, where the ultra-rich come to live, invest, and enjoy life to the fullest. Yeah, you might be wondering, does everyone in Monaco have money? Pretty much. According to the latest Afro-Asia Bank Global Wealth Migration Review, Monaco has the highest average wealth per person, sitting at nearly $2.1 million. Out of its 39,000 residents, a staggering 32% are millionaires, including around 3,000 multimillionaires and at least a handful of billionaires. That's a lot of wealth packed into such a small place. And that's exactly why the super rich choose Monaco. It's not just about the money, it's about the lifestyle. With world-class amenities, breathtaking views, and a prime location on the French Riviera, it's the perfect place for the wealthy to enjoy their fortune. But Monaco isn't just about luxury. It's also a global banking hub, offering financial stability that attracts investors from around the world. Monaco's real estate is some of the most sought after in the world. Even though space is limited, top architects are constantly building new luxury complexes to meet the high demand. Of Monaco's 39,000 residents, only about 10,000 are locals, with 70% being foreign-born. By 2026, it's expected that 2,700 more multimillionaires will call Monaco home. But with limited space, fitting them in is no easy task. This is where the Poya Cove ecological neighborhood comes in, providing much-needed space for the new residents. Monaco's entire population is packed into less than 1 square mile, smaller than New York's Central Park. And because of this, the Mareterra project was taken on to help address the growing need for space. Before diving into Mareterra, it's important to understand how Monaco operated in the past and what its goals were. To do that, we need to go back in time, all the way to the 1800s. Back then, Monaco was much larger than it is today. But surrounded by powerful neighbors like France, Italy, and Spain, Monaco was often ruled by them. That all changed in 1861 when Prince Charles III signed the first Franco-Monegasque Treaty. By signing this, he essentially sold 90% of Monaco's land to France in exchange for 4 million gold francs and full independence. While this is a simple way to put it, the key point is that Monaco gained the freedom to shape its own future, despite losing most of its territory. This is when the Monaco we know today truly began. The 4 million gold francs Monaco received from France were then used to transform the country into a luxury tourist destination. Monaco focused on glamorous coastal resorts and gambling, something that was illegal in France at the time. This quickly attracted Europe's wealthiest elite to its tiny shores. As time went on, Monaco doubled down on this strategy, building grand casinos, luxury hotels, and marinas to welcome the international yachting crowd. By 1950, Monaco made its mark on the world of motorsports by hosting a race in the very first Formula One World Championship. Today, the Monaco Grand Prix remains one of the most iconic events in the sport. But that's not all. Other high-profile events like the Monaco Yacht Show and the Monte Carlo Masters, along with world-class restaurants and designer boutiques, have cemented Monaco as a playground for the rich and famous. To encourage the wealthy to stay, Monaco introduced a very lenient tax system. Residents don't pay tax on personal income, capital gains, or wealth. Corporation tax is low, and property tax is only charged for rentals. Of course, there are a few exceptions, like if you're French, in which case you do pay income tax. For the wealthy, this tax setup is a huge draw, and it worked. You already know, Monaco is now the richest country per capita in the world, with the highest concentration of millionaires. However, with the demand for high-end real estate soaring, Monaco's limited land and natural geography make construction a challenge. Most of Monaco's tiny 2 square kilometers is mountainous, making it hard or even impossible to build on. Despite this, over 36,000 people live here, making it the most densely populated country in the world. And that number is only expected to grow in the 2030s and 40s. Why? Because to benefit from Monaco's lenient tax laws, you must establish residency, and for that, you need to own or at least rent a property. This high demand has pushed real estate prices through the roof. Recent valuations show that the average price per square meter is 50,000 euros. It is 4 times more than in Paris. Now that you have the full picture, you can see why they're building the ultra-luxurious Mareterra. So, how are they doing it? Well, the only way they can, by expanding into the ocean. This isn't new for Monaco. They've been reclaiming land for over a century. After the Franco-Monegasque Treaty, Monaco started filling in parts of its coastline to build railways. Over the years, they kept expanding, adding more land piece by piece. In fact, Monaco has already increased its territory by 20% through land reclamation projects. The biggest example of this was the Fontvieille project in the 1970s, where they took 22 hectares from the sea. And just like Fontvieille, Mareterra is using a similar construction method to push Monaco's borders even further. First, developers built a 1-kilometer dike in the sea, wrapping around the perimeter of the new district. Then, they filled the enclosed area with 7 million tons of boulders and gravel. After 10 years of work, they finally had a solid foundation to start building on. Fontvieille was a massive project, and it turned out to be a big success. Today, it houses around 10% of Monaco's population. But while Mareterra is smaller in size, it's a much more ambitious project. So, what makes Mareterra so ambitious? Well, Mareterra is a 6-hectare expansion that blends extreme luxury with cutting-edge, sustainable construction. It's this unique mix that makes the project so bold. Every inch of Mareterra has been carefully planned, starting with the foundations. Following the principles of marine eco-design, the underwater foundations are built to support and protect biodiversity. This approach is brand new for Monaco. In fact, before even placing a single rock, 520 square meters of seagrass were carefully moved to a nearby area to preserve its role in the local ecosystem. To further protect marine life, 12 cleaning operations were carried out to care for protected species. and 2 artificial reefs were built offshore to create new homes for displaced sea creatures. With the sea cleared, 50 meters underwater, Mareterra began to take shape. It all started with a wall made of 1.5 million tons of gravel. Each rock, ranging from 2 to 18 centimeters, was carefully placed on the seabed with precision by the ship called Simon Stevin. It worked almost like a 3D printer, creating a perfectly level foundation. This foundation was designed to follow the natural flow of the underwater currents. By doing so, it puts less pressure on the base and minimizes long-term disturbance to marine life. Once the wall was built, 18 specially designed concrete caissons, each weighing 10,000 tons, were floated in and carefully placed on top of the rocks. These were installed from both sides at the same time, with such precision that the final piece fit perfectly, down to the centimeter. To keep them in place, the caissons were weighed down with sand, but they also have hollow spaces inside to create new homes for marine life. The caisson walls have a multi-textured finish that encourages algae to grow, providing shelter for fish and mollusks. The goal is for the natural world to adapt to this new coastline as easily as possible. So, the thing is, they brought in leading experts to design homes for people, but at the same time, they brought in experts to develop reefs and homes for the surrounding marine life too. This is one big reason Mareterra is different from previous land reclamation projects. Monaco's newest neighborhood is presenting itself as an eco-village for the wealthy, one that's deeply connected to the surrounding nature. In fact, the name Mareterra itself combines the Italian words for sea, mare, and land, terra. So, here, with the caisson belt in place, they drained the water from the enclosure and replaced it with quarry materials as a strong base. Buildings began to rise, and now, just 9 years after the underwater work started, Mareterra is only months away from completion. In fact, the whole project is 8 months ahead of schedule, something we've never said on this channel before. We've got to admit, it's pretty impressive. Even though the construction has been fast, the attention to detail hasn't slowed down. Above ground, the focus on blending nature with luxury continues. Once the new land was ready, it was time to bring it to life. Designers, architects, and plant experts worked with a clear goal, making it both beautiful and eco-friendly. They planned 27,000 square meters of lush green spaces filled with native plants. Around 800 trees, some reaching over 10 meters tall, will soon add to the charm of this seaside neighborhood. But it's not just about the trees. Pedestrian pathways weave through a vast public green space covering 1 hectare. Here, 1,000 mature lepo and umbrella pines, along with other Mediterranean plants, are being carefully placed. These were chosen for their ability to support biodiversity all year round. Leading the landscape design is Michel Daney-Pist, the same expert behind the green spaces at Lotto Beach and Boulogne Gardens. Seriously, this is Monaco's first eco-friendly neighborhood. Prince Albert II's vision of making Monaco carbon neutral by 2050 is shaping every part of this project. Advanced green technologies are everywhere in Pora Cove, with solar panels covering 4,500 square meters to harness clean energy. A rainwater recycling system will capture and reuse 50% of rainfall, while thermal pumps will efficiently heat and cool the space. Thanks to these innovations, renewable energy will cover about 80% of Mara's cooling and heating needs. But sustainability doesn't stop there. Transportation is also designed with the environment in mind. To encourage greener travel, the neighborhood includes 200 electric charging stations and 600 meters of bike lanes. Plus, 4 parking spots are reserved for the Moby Car Club's electric vehicles. Along with all these, special care has been taken to preserve fragile and endangered coral reefs. That's important because coral reefs are among the most threatened ecosystems on Earth. Due to global warming and climate change, these reefs face serious risks. Among all marine ecosystems, coral reefs support the most biodiversity, yet they are disappearing at an alarming rate. But as we can see, Monaco is proving that development and environmental protection can go hand in hand through smart and sustainable solutions. At the same time, pathways along Avenue Princess Grace will lead into a new square, paved with French Corlan stone and flamed limestone, materials found in existing Monaco squares. The marina will accommodate around 15 berths and be surrounded by shops and restaurants, making it the perfect place to spend a day with friends and family. Just beyond the marina, an Alexander CER sculpture, originally purchased by Prince Rainier and Princess Grace of Monaco in 1966, will sit at the center of a piano-designed courtyard, offering a peaceful place to rest. You may ask, why are they paying so much attention to every little detail while building this place? Well, the residences at Mareterra are among the most luxurious Monaco has ever seen. And this place is designed by some of the world's top architects. Once completed, the development will feature over 100 apartments, 4 townhouses, and 10 villas, each uniquely crafted by the buyers and their own architects. However, the centerpiece of this architectural masterpiece is Renzo. Named after its designer, the Italian architect Renzo Piano, this residential building is meant to connect Monaco's past with its future. As Piano explained to Architectural Digest in 2022, lasting architecture always tells an engaging story. A home, for example, is not just a roof or a shelter. He is referring to Monaco's past as a quiet fishing village, and Lorenzo is designed to reflect that history. The building is meant to look like a giant sailing boat, raised on stilts, to give the illusion of floating and to preserve the ocean view. Inside, the apartments stretch from one side of the building to the other, offering residents views of both the ocean and the city. The smallest apartments are already an impressive 370 square meters, with just 2 per floor. Some owners have even combined adjacent units to create larger homes. While the photos look amazing, they don't capture the full picture. Lorenzo also stays true to Mareterra's ecological goals, making sure luxury and sustainability go hand in hand. True to its eco-friendly design, Lorenzo is heated and cooled using seawater. The building uses an advanced system called a thalassothermal loop to regulate its temperature and even heat its pool. This system works by pumping seawater into the building, passing it through heat pumps that transform the thermal energy into either heat or air conditioning. Once it's used, the water is sent back to the ocean without harming marine life or water quality. What's even more impressive is that this system isn't just for Lorenzo. It's part of a larger network designed to heat and cool all the properties in Mareterra, and it will even extend into the nearby Larvotto district. The designers claim this system could reduce Monaco's greenhouse gas emissions by 7%. While that's an exciting prediction, it's still too early to tell if it will meet expectations. While this isn't the first time Monaco has used a system like the thalassothermal loop, Mareterra was specifically designed with it in mind. This makes it far more efficient than trying to retrofit older buildings with such a system. So, how much will Mareterra cost? As you can imagine, all the properties in Mareterra have already been sold. While the exact cost remains a secret, resale prices have already hit 100,000 euros per square meter. At that price, Mareterra becomes the most expensive real estate in the world. For instance, the smallest apartments in Lorenzo are priced at $37 million, and the 3,000 square meter villas could go as high as 300 million euros. It's clear that Mareterra is all about insane levels of luxury. With every property sold even before they were finished, it's clear that the plan is working. Over the last decade, residential real estate in Monaco has gone up by 60%. Investors see this as both an opportunity and a status symbol. Developers share this view, which brings us to our final point: who's backing this project? Well, Mareterra isn't just a response to Monaco's need for land, it's also driven by the business interests of those behind the project. The whole $2 billion budget comes from 9 incredibly wealthy families, 3 from Monaco and 6 from other parts of Europe. Each new resident of Mareterra has been personally approved by the project directors, highlighting how exclusive this new neighborhood is. It also shows the power the developers have in shaping its final image. While Mareterra proudly talks about its environmental efforts, it's also fair to say that the most eco-friendly choice might have been not to build the district at all. We're not making any judgments, and we haven't seen a full assessment of the project. But it's important to recognize there are 2 sides to this story. One thing is certain, though: Mareterra solidifies Monaco's place at the top of luxury living. It offers much-needed land, high-end accommodation, and valuable investment opportunities for the country's wealthiest residents. So, what do you think about Mareterra's blend of luxury and sustainability? Do you believe it's the future of high-end living, or should the land have been left untouched? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you can see more videos like this. See you in our next video. Until then, take care, and thanks for watching.